So you've learned how to apply active reading strategies to your reading assignments to help you better understand and remember the information. To review really quickly, there are 3 steps in the active reading process: pre-reading, reading, and then reviewing. We are going to work together to look at a very short document and apply the active reading process to it to try this out. So here's our document that we're going to read. Why good writing skills are important in today's workplace and tips for developing them. At this point, you should pause the video, pre-read the document yourself. Don't read it, just do the pre-reading, and then resume the video when you're ready. Once you resume the video, you can compare your pre-reading to mine. Okay, so when I pre-read this document, it's very short and it's organized very simply in just 4 short paragraphs. I don't have a whole lot to look for here. I have a title, and the title tells me that what I'm going to be reading about is writing skills, why they're important in the job, and how I can make them better. Then I've got 3 little subsections: get that job, get on, and get along. I assume those are the reasons for why writing skills are important. I don't see anything else separated, highlighted, in bold, in italics, or different. And just a real quick skim, I don't see any words I don't recognize. So I'm pretty much done with my pre-reading. What I've learned from my pre-reading is that I believe I'm going to learn 3 reasons why writing skills are important on the job. So now that my pre-reading is done, I am ready to read the document thoroughly. Now remember, the reading stage in active reading means that you are highlighting, underlining, taking notes, asking questions, whatever it is you need to do to make sure that you are understanding what you're reading. So at this point, pause the video and complete the reading portion. If you'd like to print this document out so that you can highlight it and actually write your notes on it, you can do so. This document is in our course in Blackboard. Or you can just jot your notes down on a piece of paper if you don't have access to a printer. Pause the video, complete your reading, take your notes, and when you're ready, resume the video to see what I have done during my active reading process. Okay, so in reading this, I'm just going to begin reading and I'm going to highlight and write my notes as I go so you can see what this process looks like. And then you can compare what you noted and highlighted to what I did. Whether you're looking to impress an HR manager, secure a promotion, or improve your everyday communication with your boss, colleagues, and clients, polishing your writing may be one of the best things you can do. So how can developing writing skills help you get ahead in business? Now this is interesting right here because it says that polishing my writing skills can be one of the best things I can do to accomplish all of these things: impress HR, secure a promotion, or improve your everyday communication. I'm going to highlight that because I think that that's really interesting, that improving my writing skills can accomplish all of those things. I'm also going to put a note in here, and I'm going to say how, because I want to know how improving my writing skills can really accomplish all that. And if the rest of the article doesn't answer that question for me, then maybe that's something I want to bring up with my instructor. Okay, moving on. Get that job. All right, so that's the subheading. I suspect that means that that's one of the reasons why writing skills is important. So I'm going to highlight that. Effective business writing opens doors. Whether you're embarking on your chosen career or branching out into a new one, expressing yourself well sets you apart from the crowd. Clear, concise communication always stands out as an impressive credential. By the same token, resumes or CVs and cover letters that contain spelling and grammar errors or that need to be read twice for comprehension often go straight to the waste bin. There's a few important things here for me. This says that clear, concise communication is important, so I'm going to highlight that, but I'm not really sure what they mean by concise, so I'm also going to write a note here that says, what does concise mean? And then that way I can look it up myself during my review phase, or I can ask my instructor about it. It also says that resumes or CVs, and I'm not really sure what a CV is, so I'm going to put another note here that says, what is a CV? And cover letters that contain spelling and grammar errors often go straight to the waste bin. Okay, so to me, that's really important because it's telling me that I'm not even going to get looked at if my resume or cover letter has any errors. So I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to write that note for what I just said because that's in my own words. Remember, notes should always be in your own words. So if I have a poorly written resume, it won't even get looked at. Okay. Next topic. Get on. Again, I'm assuming that that is another reason writing and grammar writing skills are important. But I'm not really sure what get on means, so let's see if this paragraph tells us. Strong writing abilities can help you move up the corporate ladder. The Grammarly study noted that fewer grammatical errors correlate with more promotions and, of course, higher salaries. Developing good writing skills may not fast-track you to the CEO's chairs, but it will give you a distinct competitive edge. All right, so we have more promotion and higher salaries, and so that's really important to me because, of course, that's what everybody wants. So it's interesting that writing skills can give you that, but I don't really understand why, so I'm going to make that note. Why would good writing skills equate that? Why not your education or how good you are at your job? This also references something called the Grammarly study, and I have no idea what that means. So I'm going to write a comment here that says, what is this? And maybe it'll be brought up later in the document, maybe not. All right. Then my third paragraph, get along. Again, I'm going to highlight that because that's a third reason why writing skills are important. In today's fast-paced, globalized world, many of us rely on emails and text messages to get our professionalism, personality, and point across. It's not uncommon to have active relationships with colleagues or clients we've never met in person. The briefest written exchange may charm or harm in a matter of seconds and could make or break an important relationship. Having good writing skills is one of your best bets to seal your deal or save your bacon. Okay, so I think this paragraph is telling me that writing skills are important because of how many types of writing we used, emails and text messages, and so I'm going to highlight that. But it also says that we have relationships with people we've never met, and I don't really understand that, so I'm going to put another comment that says, why? Because I don't understand that. If we're working in a company, in an office, or with clients or customers, I mean, wouldn't we have met these people? Wouldn't we interact with them every day? And then that's the end of the document. So that was my reading stage. So now compare what you highlighted in your notes to mine. Are they the same? Probably not. What's really interesting about reading is that we all bring our own unique set of experiences and knowledge to everything we read. So no two people have exactly the same experience when they read. So what I highlighted might look different than yours, and what I noted might also look different than yours. You might already know some of the answers to these questions that I asked, and so maybe you didn't have those notations. You might also have found other things important to you, or you might have questioned some things that I didn't question. No two pieces of notes are going to look the same. What is important, though, is that you found things within the document to highlight and to notate and to question so that you have a beginning of understanding the document as you move into the third step in active reading, the review stage. Okay, now remember, the review stage is you review your notes and what you highlighted. You try to answer any questions that you asked, and if you can't answer them, you bring those up with your instructor or in class. Take a moment, pause the video, do the review yourself, and then when you're ready, resume this video, and you can compare your review to mine. Okay, so in my review phase, I'm going to look at what I highlighted in my notes. and I am going to try to answer any questions that I asked that were maybe answered by the document. So the first thing I highlighted was to impress an HR manager, secure a promotion, or improve your everyday communication. And I wrote how. Well, that was explained in the rest of the document. So my answer to how was, as far as HR goes, they're looking for well-written resumes. And it said that promotions and higher, it said down here that you get more promotions and higher salaries. So promotions, better writing skills equals more promotions, according to this document. And improve your everyday communication. In the third paragraph, it talked about a lot of written communication in the workplace. And it talked about text messages and emails with coworkers. Okay. And it doesn't really say coworkers, I guess, the people you work with. So I'm going to change that to in the workplace. So I answered that question. Okay. Then I have here I highlighted the 3 reasons writing's important. So I'm going to make another note, which is sort of my summary of the whole document. So we have 3 reasons writing skills are important. And those are, let's see, what was the first one that I highlighted? To get that job, to get hired. The second one was to get on, which was get promoted. And then the third one was get along. And so that was just simply a lot of written communication in the workplace. Okay. Then I have that clear, concise communication I highlighted, which is an important thing to write. And I said, well, what does concise mean? And at this point, I would either look this definition of concise up in a dictionary, or I'd look it up online, or I would ask my instructor. I'm the type of person that would look it up. And so if I looked up the word concise, I would learn that it means to use as few words as possible to express an idea. That a concise document is brief and to the point. So now I've answered that question. And then it also talks about CVs, and I'm not sure what a CV is. So again, I would look this one up or ask my instructor. And I typed in CV, and I didn't come up with anything online. And so here I would put a note to ask in class to remind myself to do that. And I'm even going to highlight this so that I remember to do so. Okay. In case you're wondering, a CV is called a curriculum vitae, and it's a different type of resume, which is used in the education industry, and that's all it is. And then I said you shouldn't have spelling or grammar errors. So I'm going to put another note here because I'm reviewing my what this document says. So I want to write concisely and clearly, and I'm going to scroll up so you can see this, with no errors. And that's what's important. Okay. So that was here. So then I have my second paragraph, which is about get promoted, and it references a Grammarly study, and I have no idea what that means. So I had notated this, and I'm going to remember to ask about this in class, because I don't even know what to begin thinking about with this. My assumption is that the rest of the article explained what this Grammarly study is, but I have no idea, and we didn't get the rest of the article to read. And then we have that fewer grammar errors correlate with more promotions and higher salaries, but I still don't really understand why that is. And so I'm going to ask about this in class too. So I'm just making a note to myself to ask about this in class. And that was all that I got out of that paragraph. And then in my last paragraph, it says that we read a lot, we have to write a lot. And we're working with people that we've never met in person. And I had written why. So now that I've started to think about this a little bit, you know, a lot of times if you're working in customer service, you might just answer the phone or respond by chat or email, and you would never meet that person. So Sometimes you never meet customers. And I guess it's possible that, like, if I work for a company that has offices in multiple cities, those people work in the other cities and I might not meet them either. So we can have multiple locations within one organization. And I guess a lot of people work from home now, and so you might not ever physically meet that person. So I guess I can better understand why you would have to do a lot of writing, because you wouldn't necessarily be meeting the person that that you've worked with. So I've answered my own question. All right, and so now here I've finished my review phase, and so when I look back at it, I have my summary of the entire document, 3 reasons why writing skills are important. And I have a few points that I need to ask. I have some questions that I've been able to answer myself by looking at the document again. But I still have a few things that I want to remember to ask about in class when we discuss this document, or to just send my email and instructor about and ask, because I didn't understand these 3 things at all. So that's what my review phase looks like. Again, if your questions and your notes were different, your review phase is going to look different too. But you should have followed the same process of summarizing what you've read, trying to answer your own questions, and noting the questions that you couldn't answer so that you can ask them in class. And that is how you use the active reading process to really make sure that you clearly understand a document that you have been assigned to read.